Time to cross the T's and dot the I's. Rest of the week's top stories. Joining me now is the founder of SpikeTheWaterCooler.com, Marjorie Clifton, attorney Clint David, and former Wall Street trader turned comedian Ellen Karras. Let's start off with the fiscal cliff. What's going to happen? The president is still the president. John Boehner is still the speaker. Who's going to blink on all of this? Ellen, let's start with you. Who is going to give in on this fiscal cliff?
All of the Republicans. I just don't think that they have a shot. The people have spoken, and I believe that the president and all of his party are going to use that against them, and they're going to continually pound and say this is what America wanted. So I think that Obamacare, whatever last pieces that he wants to get in, will drive it in. I think the tax cuts are totally going to expire, and we're in for another huge stimulus package.
Marjorie, let's get your take on it. Who's going to get blamed if they don't blink?
Well, 60% of Americans in the exit polling come out of this election said they are behind increasing taxes to support social programs like Social Security. And again, it'll point to Republicans if there is this unwillingness to bend. And we have to remember, the sequestration deal was like a parent saying, you're grounded for life if you don't get home by curfew. This was supposed to be worst case scenario. So I think with a lot of eyes on, is the country willing to be bipartisan, Republicans are going to have to bend. But Democrats are also going to have to compromise as well.
Yeah, the other thing, though, Clint, was that I was listening to John Boehner talk earlier this week, and he was basically mouthing what Mitt Romney was promoting, which was don't raise the rates, but let's get revenue in from growing the economy and those sort of broadening the tax base. And it was not quite, but almost 50-50 in the nation that voted for both men. So don't the Republicans get some constituency and some voice?
Well, of course they do, Tom. I mean, you know, in terms of blinking, I mean, both sides are blinking so hard right now their eyes are about to fall out of their head. I mean, look, the market's reaction, I think, has given both Republicans and Democrats a nice appetizer about what will happen if a deal isn't cut. And a deal will be made at the last minute. Democrats will agree to extend the Bush tax cuts. Republicans will agree to delay spending cuts. Political brinksmanship aside, a deal has to be made because these Congress people's political lives depend on it.
All right. So now we know what we're doing on New Year's Eve. We're waiting for the announcement out of Washington. Let's go out to California, because the state of California, the voters there said, hey, let's raise taxes on ourselves, 0.25% on sales tax, and boost the taxes on people making $250 and above. And they used the schools as the hostage on this. Marjorie, is that the answer we're going to see from other states?
Well, you've got to look at California as a heavily Democratic state. That 54% of the population did vote for this tax hike. You may start seeing this in other states, but unfortunately, this isn't a solution for the federal issue. This is only a state's issue. And I think that in states that don't start addressing the tax issue, you're going to see social programs being forced to be cut, and maybe even population migrations happening within states. So I think it does offer a positive solution for California, and I bet we will start seeing it in other places.
I think that's the big question here is, will there be migration? Will people say, that's it, I'm leaving? And Clint, Texas, baby.
Yeah. Listen, taxes are going up. In terms of a solution, raising taxes obviously isn't the only answer, but raising taxes and cutting spending is the only answer. I mean, that is absolutely inevitable, and it will happen just as was recommended by those top business economists. You know, Tom, Grover Norquist is going the way of horses and bayonets.
All right. Can we work Big Bird in here somehow? Ellen, no, I mean, listen, I mean, will people go from California to Texas? Will they bail, or will they just sit there and basically pay the tax?
I think businesses are going to leave, but I think that the people are going to stay. I think there's a lot of people in California that are on state aid and rely on welfare checks to support them. Also, California has a huge immigrant population, and they're going to stay there, and they're going to work. And a lot of that work is off the books.
So if businesses leave, now you got the problem of the people that provide the income to the state are getting nervous, but the people that are the users of the income are going to stick around. Now we got like an inner city problem. I mean,
well, but I think you're going to actually see people staying in states where they do have those social support programs in many cases, and where the people are, the businesses have to stay because that's their employee base.
Yeah, and they got customers there as well.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Let's go around the table. Marijuana passed in Colorado and Washington State. And we're not even trying to pretend it's for medical reasons. This is just get high. Where do you want? Marjorie, let's start with you. Is this now to the point where the rest of the states are going to say it's too expensive to fight this? Let's just go ahead and make marijuana legal.
It may start to spread, but you also have to know that the federal laws still don't allow it, and so it'll be interesting to see how this is reconciled with the DOJ. I don't think there'll be a lot of prosecution, especially after petty amount of it, but it is something that may be one of those inevitable spreads in a lot of different states.
Ellen?
I think it's interesting that a place like Colorado legalized marijuana because a lot of people ski in that state. So I don't think that it was a really good choice to do that. But there are so many people that think that more than marijuana should be legal. So I think this really opens up a very, very bad door. And obviously there's been a big pounce from the medical marijuana community. So I think it's here to spread to the other states.
Clint, what about you?
First of all, disclaimer, Tom, I went to college in the 70s.
I got you.
Having said that, there is no question that it will spread to other states once they see the revenue potential. I mean, there are some states I think that are too conservative. My home state of Texas, I mean, we still shoot horse thieves here, so we're obviously way too conservative to enter into legalizing marijuana. But it will clearly, for economic reasons, it will spread throughout the country.
All right. Marjorie Clifton, Clint David, Ellen Karras, thank you all very much.